So I wanted to do this video. This is completely unplanned. If you are watching this video, you are probably either on my email list or I have maybe posted something on social media. Today is Monday, November the 28th. So like I'm shooting this in real time. No fancy setup, no nothing. I'm not even unpacked. I'm technically supposed to be on vacation. But y'all, I wanted to do this video because listen, I kind of want to shake things up a little bit. And if I'm fuzzy, y'all, like if I'm out of focus, I'm sorry because this is off the cuff, right? So today is technically Cyber Monday, and we just came out of Black Friday. And I've been seeing all of these memes and quotes and commentary on social media about how, the Black Friday sales weren't giving, right? People were like, what is this? If it's not 70% off, it's not this. And I chuckled because I was like, wow, these companies have cultivated a sense of entitlement with their buying audience, that their buying audience is demanding that they demand their products to be cheaper than what they're worth. And listen, I love a good sale, so I'm not anti-sales. But one of the things I love about, talking about luxury or high-end services and why I don't encourage my clients to do sales is exactly because of this, right? Because if you build your brand on the fact that you've got to give people discounts or you've got to lower the price or you've got to give them something on top of something on top of something for free in order for them to buy, that doesn't make those people bad people. You offered it, but what you have done is you have conditioned them that that's how you do business. So if you tried to come out with a higher price offering, if you didn't offer sales, right, and you've been offering sales for a while, that particular segment of your audience is going to be upset, frustrated, they're going to complain. Now, what's funny is that I've watched other brands who never offer sales offer the same kind of sales or even significantly less, and their buying demographic is grateful, they're excited, they're like, oh, this is amazing, because they have trained and bred their consumer base to know that the price is the price, right? And the value is the value. And if we so choose to do a sale, it's your lucky day, right? And so it's not an ego thing. It's really about who are you marketing to, right? It's the reason why, there's so many, like coaches and consultants who give free consultation calls. I don't. You cannot walk into a lawyer's office and get a free consultation. You cannot walk into the doctor's office and get a free appointment and get a free consultation. You cannot take your car to the mechanic and get a free consultation and then to figure out what's wrong with your car, to figure out what's wrong with your health or the legalities of what you have going on, because they understand there's value in that, and those are premium services. And they know that if everybody and their mother could come in to a lawyer's office for free, right, to get legal advice, how would the lawyer make any money? Right? When you walk into the grocery store, they don't have every single product on sample. A lot of grocery stores don't even do samples, right? So this notion that you've got to give so much of yourself away for free in order to be worthy of a sale is insane to me, right? In real estate, you don't get to go spend the night in the house, right, to see if you want to live there. You can tour it, okay, and you can get an inspection on it, but you don't get the rule of thumb is not like, okay, you can stay for 2 nights free to see if you want to buy it. Like like there's no such a thing. Okay, you don't get to keep a car for 2 weeks. You can test drive it, right? And even then there's an exchange. They're like, we need collateral, right? For you to test drive it, or we gonna ride with you. Okay. And so it's so funny because I was like, this is exactly why I don't do sales. This is exactly why, and a lot of people have very strong feelings about that, and that's totally fine. But at my big age, okay, at my big age, like I do what I do, right? And I understand high-end luxury brands, and that's what I teach my clients. Like, I'm not going to teach you about Black Friday promotions. Yes, should you be marketing your products and services through Black Friday? Absolutely, but you don't have to give away the sun, the moon, and the stars, okay, in order to have a successful Black Friday. You don't have to deeply discount your prices to have a successful Black Friday. Those people that want those things are not your target market if you have a high-end culinary brand. And I'm gonna say something here. I'm gonna say something here. And if it makes you want to unsubscribe, listen, I totally understand. Maybe it just means we're not a match. If you are one of the people that only buy from brands when they have a sale, if you're one of the people that are upset that the brands aren't offering more money off and they should do better and this ain't a Black Friday sale, a high-end culinary brand may not be the best fit for you. And I say that, and when I want to put this disclaimer there, that doesn't mean you won't be successful. These brands that are doing these sales who don't necessarily have high-end clients are very successful. So I always want to make sure that when I'm talking about creating a high-end culinary brand, that I never want to make it seem like that's the only way to be successful. Walmart is not high-end at all, and they are extremely successful. The Dollar Tree clearly is not high-end, and they are extremely successful, right? So people have billion-dollar brands without having high-end products. I just don't know how to teach you how to do that. And there are specific strategies and pros and cons that come with that type of business model. On the flip side, okay, if you want to know how to get people to buy from you without ever holding a sale, right? For me, I personally, I don't even want the stress of it, right? I don't, just because this random Friday from this made up holiday comes around doesn't mean that the value of what I offer decreases magically with this day of the week and the year. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, like, I know that's a little extreme, but if you really think about it, right? Like, it's a made up day. Black Friday and Cyber Monday is made up. Okay. And if we really want to get spicy, Thanksgiving could be considered made up too. However, okay, that's not the point of this video. The point is, I don't even want to be bothered with the headache. I do not want to attract freebie seekers into my high-end business. I do not want to attract, right, low ticket. I'm only going to buy when it's on sale. You owe me a sale mentality into my business. And if you're feeling me on that, then you need a high-end culinary brand. If you think that I sound exclusionary or elitist or whatever, then that just means we're just not a match. And that is totally okay. I wish you the most success as you unsubscribe. But when I tell you I'm not playing no games in 2023, I'm only here to work with the people who value high end, who value luxury, who value quality, that understand that quality doesn't go on sale. When does Louis Vuitton have a sale? When does Hermes have a sale? And so, and I say this to people a lot of time when they they hear about charging premium prices and they hear about bringing in high-end clientele, and I always say to them, the acid test for yourself to see if this is the right path for you to go down is if you currently value luxury in some area of your life, right? If you do not value luxury, I don't care if it's luxury hotels, luxury cars, a luxury purse, luxury makeup, luxury homes, luxury experiences. It doesn't have to be all of these things, but if there's not an area of your life where you know that you are paying a premium for this product and you do it happily, you do it excitedly, then it can be challenging. Okay, it can be challenging to understand why someone would want to pay you that. It can be challenging to have the confidence to charge that, and it can be challenging on how to communicate why you charge what you charge or the value of what you charge. If you notice, I never really explain why the investment to work with me is the investment, right? Because it's what's the young folks say, the girls that get it, and the girls that don't. Absolutely. I think about it like this. There are people who prefer to have a private nanny and are willing to pay private nanny salaries over having the next door neighbor watch their child, right? Now, here's the thing. The results on the outside seem similar. You need an adult to be there to make sure that the child is safe and fed and all that. And that's the bare minimum. But there are things that that nanny who's exclusive to that child is doing and can do that that parent values more than the teenager next door who's just looking to earn some extra money. Doesn't make the teenager wrong, or doesn't make the parent who wants the teenager wrong, and it doesn't make the person who wants to live in nanny wrong. Different desires, different priorities, different budgets, different lifestyles. Neither one are wrong. It's just that I can't teach you how to be the 13-year-old girl next door chef, right, babysitting. If you want to be the premier, that's what I teach, right? And so there's a lot of people, and some of you are going to stop getting emails from me because there's a lot of people who have been kind of like hanging out on my email list, hanging out on my YouTube channel, hanging out on my social media. You're waiting for a sale. There's not going to be one. And I say that with love because I have to practice what I preach. There's not going to be one. There's not going to be one, right? Because and here's the thing, and if you do not want to cultivate a client base, an audience of people who only buy from you when you put things on sale, then you will always have to put things on sale, right? And it's interesting because one of my favorite luxury makeup brands took that strategy. They started having all kinds of sale all the time, right? And so while they had this really wonderful fan base of people who were like, yes, we're going to pay top tier for this makeup brand. We don't care. We love the products. We love the packaging. We love the artists behind the brand. This brand started having all these kind of sales. And do you know the strangest thing happened? The people who loved the brand before were like, I'm not excited anymore. Oh, it's the quality is good, right? They started questioning the integrity of the product, right? They, were like, I mean, you can get it, but just wait for a sale, like if you're still into it, right? Right. And it was this interesting thing because you would think that this extremely luxury makeup brand who, is offering these very, very high priced, luxurious products, you would think that, once they put themselves on these amazing sales, that everybody would be super excited. The opposite happened. It's the strangest phenomenon, but it happens all the time. And so what happened is this particular brand started attracting the crowd who only wants sales, who only wants deep, huge discounts. So every time they release new products, right, the people in their comment section on different social media sites were complaining about the price and it being overpriced and this is too much and this is not, and they were complaining about the quality of the product. All these people that you discounted your product for, right, are now bad mouthing your brand every time you come out with something that's not on sale, right? So then the brand got into this vicious cycle of, in order to make sales, constantly having to put stuff on sale, right? And here's the thing, while yes, we're not necessarily product-based businesses as chefs, it's like that notion of being cheap and low price is incongruent with the kind of service that you offer. Being a personal chef, a private chef, going into people's homes and doing dinner parties, the fact that people are having custom menus made for their events and they don't have to go to Costco or they don't have to order their whole catering menu for their event from the Cheesecake Factory, that is a premium service. And when you are lower price, it doesn't mean you won't be successful. It's just incongruent with the kind of service that you offer. And that's when you start attracting the clients who are nightmares. That's when you start attracting the clients who nitpick every single little thing you do. That's when you start attracting the clients who want the sun, the moon, and the stars, but they don't have the budget. That's when you start attracting the clients that even if you make the slightest mistake, now they're writing 40, 50 million negative reviews on Google, right? Because they have champagne taste on tap water budgets. Okay. And again, that doesn't make them bad people. It's just a mismatch of service provider and service consumer, right? So that's all I wanted to say. I'm opening up just a few spots for the chef's table for 2023. I only want women who are serious. I want women who get the luxury. I'm only opening up to women who value having a coach, who value not learning the hard way, who investment is not an issue. You are already investment minded. If you're someone who's like, oh, I'm gonna do it in 6 months, oh, I'm gonna do it in a year, we're not a good match, right? Because the way I do business and the way I teach my clients to do business is to take imperfect, immediate action. That's how you get results, right? So, and again, that doesn't make people wrong or bad. It's just a mismatch, right? If you're someone who wants to sit around and try to consume free information and piece it together and DIY a luxury brand, which there is no such thing as a DIY luxury brand. It's very incongruent, right? And here's the thing: there's so many wonderful and amazing coaches and mentors and programs and courses that will teach you to be successful in a way that feels good to you. But over here, what I do and what I teach my clients to do is we attract high-end clients. We're not doing the sales. We're not attracting freebie seekers. We're not going to discount ourselves for a made-up holiday, because we fully understand that what we do is a premium service, and we give premium service. We are offering a premium product, and we will charge no less than premium prices. And that's the energy I'm on for all 2023. So this is probably the spiciest video you've seen from me in a while. I'm not even like I'm technically supposed to be on vacation, but I kept seeing those posts over and over and over and over again, and I was just like, who the audacity of the entitlement, the audacity of the entitlement. So anyway, listen, I've got 12 spots. Okay. I'm not even going to do this. I got to tell you 17 times, you know, they tell you in marketing, oh, you need all these touches. Listen, today is Monday, November the 28th. I'm going on vacation the week before Christmas, right? I'm going to fill these 12 spots before the end of the year, because I know that there are people out there who are tired of dealing with, you know, the frugal foodies, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are places to go. They can go get free recipes from food bloggers and they can DIY it themselves, right? But you cannot want to DIY your high-end culinary brand and then get upset when you attract clients who want to DIY their food needs. Like it's congruency. You're on the same wavelength energetically. Investors attract investors. You know, I did a post on my Instagram stories the other day, and I was talking about how, like, in my life right now, I have two dance instructors, right? One for ballet, one for modern. Okay, and I'm at the dance studio 2 to 3 times a week. This is not a gym membership. These are studio investment levels from former professional dancers, right? You know, people that have danced with Ailey and this and that and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And I was showing a video of how one of my instructors was physically correcting me and making adjustments, and how that is what I pay for. I'm paying a professional. I'm not paying somebody who learned how to do it off of YouTube, right? I'm not trying to learn how to do ballet and, you know, Horton technique, you know, the Alvin Ailey style dance off of free YouTube videos. You could, but you might injure yourself, right? And I was showing how he kept adjusting me, and move your head like this and adjust your shoulders so I wouldn't injure myself. But I was also showing how he was stretching me and showing me, you actually can go a little further. You got a little bit more flexibility there. Oh, you know, you got a little bit more stretch here. You know, turn your body this way, right? And I was like, I value that. But I also have a therapist that I pay, that I invest and pay her weekly. No insurance. because I value my mental health. I'm not going to DIY my mental health. I'm going to pay somebody who has a proven track record, who they have invested in themselves to become licensed and professional in the modalities that I need. I have an herbalist, a homeopathic doctor, a chiropractor, right? Even through my whole cancer journey, I had what I call my board of directors of all these doctors, none of which who took insurance. Why? Because I'm my most valuable asset. So I'm going to invest and I'm going to figure it out, right? I have a client right now and she's like, listen, Evelyn, I'm the kind of person I'm not gonna do videos at home to work out. I'm not even gonna go to the gym and go to the class. She's like, unless I have a personal trainer, I'm not working out. You know what I'm saying? She understands that there's a certain a level of attention, of accountability, of focus that she wants, and she's willing to invest to get it, right? So I just want to let you know that if you are someone who has just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and when is Evelyn going to offer something, more bargain, that's incongruent with building a high-end culinary brand, right? So I just, it's incongruent. So anyway, I didn't mean for this to go that long. I didn't mean for it to be this hype, but it's just like, it's kind of like when I see people underneath the comments of food bloggers and they're complaining about, like, I don't want to have to read through your life story, just give me the recipe. It's like, you you could go buy a cookbook and you don't have to read through the story. You could go test it and make it yourself, right? And the audacity of the entitlement that I see on food bloggers, which is why I can never do it. I'm not giving away my intellectual property for free, first of all. But when I see people do that, I'm like, wow, the food blogging culture has created, not intentionally, but has created entitlement amongst people who consume food blogs, right? Because they're so used to, I can get it for free. Why would I ever pay you? And in the meantime, make it better and more efficient for me if you're going to do it. And it's like, wow, this person spent their time, their money, their energy, to have these cameras, to test these recipes, to do this, and the sheer entitlement that you have, uh, for a recipe you didn't have to pay for, is mind-boggling to me. And so those are not my people, right? Those are not my people. And if you want a high-end culinary brand, those are not your people, right? However, if that doesn't bother you, or if you're one of those people, that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just that maybe the high-end culinary brand life is not for you, and maybe you should build a brand that's more accessible. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why there's Michelin star restaurants and then 4-star restaurants all the way down to Chick-fil-A or to Burger King or to whatever the cheapest fast food is. And they're all successful, but you have to be honest with yourself about where you are, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and not waste your time, right? If you know that you are somebody that you are not going to invest at a high level to build a high-end culinary brand, then stop wasting your time. Build a really wonderful mid-tier culinary brand and be wildly successful. Okay. Or if you're somebody who's like, no, I want it to be super, super accessible and for the masses, whatever, do that and do it famously, do it wonderfully, and be wildly successful. But be honest about where you are. That's it, right? And so I always tell people, if you don't purchase luxury in some area of your life, right, whether it's experiences or tangible goods, and it doesn't even have to be related to food. If you don't value luxury, right, if you don't understand why somebody would pay this for that, like, because you know why you pay it for a certain area, you can understand why somebody would pay it for something else, right? If you don't value that, that doesn't make you a bad person. That just means it's not something you value. There are people who value that, but if you don't value that, then you're never going to create something you don't value. So, and if you despise it, right? If you're just like, it don't take all that and that's too much, and that's fine. You can have that belief, but you're also never going to create something that you despise, right? And so it's just kind of like, one of the common things that people talk about with mindset is that, if you despise wealthy people, then you'll never be wealthy, because your subconscious is like, you're never going to want to become something you despise, right? Or it's kind of like people who, if you think, oh, all men are terrible or all women are terrible, whatever, you're never going to attract something that you think, something that you despise or that you don't enjoy, right? So it's really about being honest with yourself about what you believe, what you value, and walking in that direction. It's not about you having to change your mind or somebody needs to change your mind. You are fine just the way you are, but you can save yourself a lot of frustration by being honest about who you are, right? Like, I was having a conversation with a family member recently, and they were looking to sell something of significant value, and they ended up, not being able to sell it at the price point that they wanted to. And when we were having a debrief, they were like, you know what, because them themselves wouldn't pay that price for that, or they couldn't get into the mindset of somebody who would pay their price for that, they ended up selling it in a range. They still made a great profit, right? It was an easy sale. They attracted the right client for them, but they realized, they were like, oh, because I don't think like that, when I was getting, ready to sell this, like, because I don't value that world. I attracted the kind of buyer who I wanted to attract, right? Or that, the kind of buyer that I am, right? And that happens all the time. So with that being said, listen, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate, I'm gonna go back to being on vacation, but I wanted to talk about it. Listen, ooh, I already know I ruffled some feathers, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm grown. And I keep a lot of things to myself for the sake of, oh, is this gonna rub people the wrong way? And like, moving forward, like, I don't care. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you the truth. Well, I'm gonna tell you my opinion. What I know is, I know high-end culinary brands. What I know is the high-end culinary buyer. I do not know the bar. I do not know how to market to a frugal foodie. That is not my gifting. There are people who do know how to market. Let me show you how to make 30 freezer meals for $25. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to go tell you to buy a $47 bottle of balsamic vinegar. That's me, though. That's me. Okay. And that's the kind of clients I work with. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you're like, yeah, that's me, come on, let's quit playing games. Click the link below, grab your spot for 2023, and let's get you this high-end culinary brand so you can stop going back and forth with people who are trying to negotiate your invoices and trying to figure out how to make it cheaper. And if you take this off, and if you add this, and if you, like, let's just be done with that, right? My clients, it's so funny, like, they don't even, that's not even part of their reality anymore. It's not. So, all right, y'all. I have talked long enough, and I am going to end this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.